everybody, and welcome to the Pixel Classroom Podcast. This is episode 204 for the brand new season 7. And of course, it's a long overdue book review for Language of Behavior by Charlie Peck and Joshua Stanford. I am, of course, your host, Ryan Reed, host of the Pixel Classroom Podcast. Thank you for joining us this Sunday morning of the live stream of this. This, of course, will be available following the following week of this. So this is recorded on August 24th. It will air on, of course, August 30th. I'm sorry, 31st, if I get my dates correct. Forgot the first is a Monday for September 2025. So, yes, I'm finally going to go ahead and review what I wanted to do here for, of course, language of behavior. A framework to evaluate student success here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for those people who are joining us this morning or watching the playback of this. And of course, I will go over here for the pieces here, though. I couldn't join the news. So, language behavior was originally created with Charlie Peck and Joshua Stanford, explores the deep meaning behind student behavior, provides actionable strategies and empathy for effectiveness. We know, especially now with school going back, usually we do always have to deal with those, of course, student behaviors, whether it happens early on, midway, or towards the end of the year. We all know about things that happen everywhere from incoming students that do have hard home lives to ones that, of course, do feel that they do not belong in the classroom, but of course, more references of the work and effort of this. And the book really, really frames a lot of this too. And believe it or not, the reason I'm sharing this is because it really goes on the different episodes of Josh's own Aspire to Lead podcast, which you can of course check out. It'll be on the show notes for the audio piece of this too, as well as the final video playback of this on my YouTube channel. So, what is it here? Well, I actually got this book about, I'd say about late April. I had gone through it, I had read it and everything. I really liked it. I was writing down some of the strategies I had actually been using towards the end of the year at my previous school district. It really did help with a lot of the students who were dealing with a lot of that stuff for the student behavior and success. And I actually had some successful work. Things got a little sidetracked though in May. As many know, my father passed away, and end of the school year, things got kind of buried, and I decided to wrap up the season before I really got into talking about this book. So, what was it? Well, there's actually quite a few things in the chapter I really enjoy this, but too. But I think one of the things is regaining the trust in the system as we talk about the different pieces of it. As we know, there is a hard way in any school system where it's a high performing school or low performing school. In fact, I was just watching the movie Stand and Deliver, of course, about the APs in East LA at Garfield High School back in the early 80s, and how one of the teachers, set up and actually ended up having his math class go on to be some of the highest math scores, as well as getting grants and stuff for a developing system back there. So there's definitely systems about talking about it. I do really like how Josh and Charlie put a lot of pieces about what they're doing, what they're feeling about the things, and recurring to trusted training. But I like this right here. Mistrust occurs when we become reactive and use ineffective communication. Who is responsible for student behavior? Our typical consequences for misbehavior is working to improve the student behavior. How do we effectively migrate chronic behaviors, avoid things? Because there's always one thing too. I worked under admin where he was a very effective uh, administrator, where he said, "I want to know why they're in my office for the sixth time, not why they're there right now." I mean, as much as that's important, there's a reason why you have a student that ends up becoming a lot of referrals regularly versus when they're only there once in a blue moon, or it's over a situation which just things happen. It really gets framed really well into this, and I really like it. One of my favorite chapters here, I'm going to go ahead is beyond disengaged, where they talk about typical answers like what is causing avoidance, non-compliance, pushback, aggression, disrespectful, and chronic absenteeism, because that is very common with a lot of schools. The book gives a lot of real stories about how to do that, how it does deal with trauma. We all come from a different type of trauma, and we know for many students there are hidden traumas. They could have a great home life, they could have everything given to them, but something causes the misbehavior, or something causes those fractures of issue. I know there's some things myself with my own son, which is one thing is he's afraid of looking bad if he doesn't turn his homework in his eye or forgets something. He feels like he'll be kind of in a type of stigma, but of course that is from his own issues that he has himself. But he does work through them, and the trick is working through those, such as reminders and pieces. And there's a lot of great strategies and everything, and of course talking about everything from in school suspensions to out of school suspensions. I've known there's been a lot of areas too, and there's really a lot of pieces both Charlie and Josh actually really cover in this book here. I can't really go through a lot of them because every student is different, every school is different, every system is different, but I really really do like how it looks at the framework and design for this too, about that too, and such as considering the environment, exploring the breakdown, responding intentionally, community support for schools, and community outreach. I mean, there is so much in this book that you can. I've actually been using a couple of strategies myself at my current school district because, of course, I do notice those behaviors, and of course, I have to go because it's looking at really what is the underneath pieces on that. So it's really important. I really do like it. And this episodes actually work really well too. And of course, it will talk everything from Charlie here, who's the co-author of the book, and what she's worked. Because I mean, she has quite a bit. And of course, Josh Stanford, of course, when everything else too, Teach Better Network, and a few ones too. But it's a really good book, and there's areas too. And they really do come with the language behavior and talking about. It. And of course, you can even meet them too for live streams, or of course, coming to your school. They have definitely worked great with the behavior cohort model, which has really worked for students in other schools. I have used it myself here, and I have put it to practice. It is very effective. Does it work for everything? No. It's not. It's as they say, it's not the silver bullet that takes out all the problems, but it does lead a lot of frameworks, real guides, and allows you as the educator, whether you're the classroom teacher, the instructional coach, the admin, or even an aide, come up with strategies and work about being proactive versus reactive, which has always been a big thing for me for a lot of stuff with that. So I am really, really like this book. It was well done. And at the time I was reading it, it was definitely something I needed and something I'm, of course, carrying to do it. And of course, I am putting slow practices of it into effect as I go as the school year goes. So I will give it a very high rating. It was very good book. It definitely gets 4 stars for me. And Josh, Charlie, thank you so much for this book. It's really good to listen to them on the podcast as they talk over their little pieces. You can follow them on that, and I will have that on the show notes about the website and for more on that. So I don't have much more else to say on that too. I thought that was very good. It is definitely a book you should check out here if you are entering the classroom, been there several years, or are looking at different ways for behavior management as well as classroom management. It is definitely a nice tool in your toolbox. Not perfect, but it will give you a lot of strategies and frameworks to help you design or develop new reasons for student behavior as well as classroom management, as well as what happens afterwards. A lot of people don't always worry about. They always think about what is the pre-solution, but at the same time is what happens afterwards. And a lot of times, the lot afterwards is not a directed well. So check out this book. I believe you will really like it. On that note, everybody, thank you for joining us for this book review. Short and to the point here. My episodes are going to be a little bit more concentrated this season as I get into it. I want to thank everybody who joined me today on the live stream, those listening to it. Thank you so much for this. And of course, I will talk to everyone later.